it was only in high school when I had this epiphany by looking at this book from Picasso, and
Mm.
it detailed his journey, and it showed him how he went from someone that had to study the academic way, who's put
Yes,
in
that's
school.
right.
Then he just
You
decided, you know what, like screw this, like I'm gonna try something different. And it all started with like looking at like African masks and like exposing himself to the world. And
yeah,
it was just like stories like these, like stories of artists from the past who were able to do something different that
that's the thing.
inspired me to do the same.
No metaverse, no utility, no game, no white paper, no token. This is Jarheads. Just art. The most artistic PFP projects on Cardano, the Picasso of PFPs on Cardano. It's a Sunday after the mint, and Jarheads is officially sold out. I'm very excited about this project. Secondary market is kind of taking off right now, but I'm just happy that an artist, a talented artist, and an art project is getting the love and attention that it is right now. And as you can see in this interview, Jar is a stand-up guy, and that makes it even better. He's a great guy. He makes great art, and again, I'm just so happy for all the Jarheads out there. Hope you enjoy the interview. Enjoy your weekend. So, can you just tell me a little bit about yourself and your project? Kind of bring me, I don't know, up to speed. Give me the elevator pitch, if you will.
Yeah. Well, first off, thanks guys for sticking around. I really appreciate it. Um, and thanks Thor for like fixing it up. I mean, we're here, and I'm just super grateful that we're here now, that we get to interact. And anyway, but yeah, I'm Jar. I am an artist, and I have an upcoming drop a couple of days from now, Feb 19, at 5:30 p.m. UTC. It's my first ever NFT project, so super super exciting. Uh, man, this has been something I've actually poured my heart and soul into. It's been super rewarding for me as an artist, and now that we're only a couple of days away, I'm just so excited to share as much as I can. And I know Thor asks good questions. He's here to hang around, have a good time, and I'm just here to answer people's questions. At the same time, hopefully I can um share something about myself or the project that will kind of help enrich the community. I, I'm super grateful to be even at this point. Considering a couple of months ago, like maybe 5 or 6 months ago, I would have never have thought that I would have been able to like make a project and get here. But thankfully, with the help of some friends and some encouragement from the CNFT space, like I'm here. So yeah, that's a bit about me, and thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, yeah, my pleasure. Like I reached out to you because like your project caught my eye, and it's like it just seemed right up my alley. Sorry, I'm still trying to figure out. Oh, there we go. Um, yeah. So how did you get into Cardano? Like, when did you decide? I mean, because you're obviously an artist, right? Which is not always the case. Like, I feel like with there are a lot of projects that they want to become a project, and then they're like, okay, we just need an artist. But you are an artist, and you seem to be kind of using this this technology, this platform, this community to kind of just get your work out there, right? So when did that become like an aha moment? Like I could do something on Cardano.
Right. Yeah, no, that's a good question. I think it all started with, just my natural curiosity, like just like most people with NFTs. I think it had to start with, like Ethereum, because that was like the most popular like thing going around.
Yeah.
And I just encountered all the stories about, like the gas fees coming in. And like once I started reading these stories, I'm like, it kind of burst my bubble a bit. It's like, what? Like, I'd hate to, like, for me personally, I'd hate to go through that process just to claim claim a piece of art, or in this case an NFT. And that was just like me like a couple of months ago. And after a bit of research, like after a bit of time hanging out with friends who were in a lot deeper more than I was, I got to kind of like realize that, Cardano is like super, 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 basically no gas fees at all. And just
Mm-hmm.
how they were describing to me, this friend in particular is Vendetta, who's a huge help in getting me this project off the ground. Shout out to him. But yeah, man, like just hanging around him, seeing how passionate he was about Cardano, especially. I mean,
Okay.
that made me like, all right, yeah, like let's go. Let's see what's this about. Let's see what's all about. Then, yeah, man,
And
I
that was
think
only a
without his
couple of
help,
months ago.
yeah, dude, like, and honestly, I think that's just how it's just a testament to like how powerful the community is. Because
Yeah. Yeah, I see
coming
your
from
first
someone like
tweet here,
me,
December 6th.
yeah, dude, so like, um, I'm not much of like a social media guy. Like I'm not gonna put my own stuff out there. I think it's something a lot of artists deal with, just in terms of, I guess some artists are more open to it, but in my case in particular, it's something I'm still struggling with a bit. But I'm at the end of the day, I'm still
Yeah.
grateful that it is what it is in terms of building this thing off the ground. So yeah.
Yeah, it's because it's only you, right? Or like, do you have a team helping you? I mean, obviously, I assume you're getting advice and help from the community, but is there anybody partnering with you? Revenue sharing, or is it just you?
No, man, it's mostly me. I mean, well, Vendetta's helping me a lot in the back end, and obviously
Okay.
there's gonna be some way that like I'm gonna be compensating him, but obviously that's just for him as a friend. Like mostly it's him as a friend. Like like he really was a fan to begin with, and we've been friends for a while back. And I think it's just one of those natural things, man, that you don't even think about the stuff yet. You just like, hey, get on this,
Yeah.
then let's worry about it later. Might be bad advice in some other areas, but in this case, I'm just happy that we're here. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I want to take it even further back because I'm interested in you as an artist. Like, first of all, like your art is really unique. Can you tell me a little bit about just kind of your journey in the art space, and then what is your usual style? Is it exactly what we're seeing now, or did you make some sort of adaptation to fit the NFT space?
No, yeah. Thank you for the kind words. But yeah, like this project is exactly like how I would do it in any other. Like, there's no other way I could make, you know, um, PFPs, or like it's this. That's why it's such a perfect opportunity for me, because before I go back and start um detailing my journey as an artist, like my style in particular, you know, I involve a lot of figures in my work,
Hmm.
so they're not necessarily well, they're human figures, but they're not really, like they're just meshed up and all contorted in all kind of like different ways that they can take all these different forms, but
Yeah, they're
most of my paintings,
abstract. They feel abstract.
right, right, and most of my paintings involve that figure as the center, and most especially the head. um every time I started painting, like it always starts with the head, and it just kind of grows out of that into all sorts of different directions, which I find perfect for this project because Jarheads in particular, I think, was just a natural name to go with, and it's so comfortable for me and my practice because like it's basically, it's like I was painting, except I just got to stop once I was done with the head. Obviously, sometimes it works the other way around. I'll work on an arm, and it just you know goes from there. But
Okay.
yeah, and anyway, like going back to my journey as an artist, I've been it's kind of a weird one because you know ever since I was young, yeah, my mom just put in like papers and pencil all around. We'd never run out of papers in the house. That's mostly, I think, because she worked in the office, so she'd bring home like all these you know uh, no like office papers that weren't being used
Like
anymore, and she's
scrap
just like, all
paper.
right,
Yeah.
yeah, scrap papers, and one side has text on it, the other side just like blank.
Yeah.
So like it was like that was complete freedom for me when I was a kid. But
Where are you from, by
I
the way?
think,
If you don't mind.
yeah, yeah, no, I'm based in Manila.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Shout out to, I'm not sure if anyone's up, but yeah, shout out to anyone that's
Yeah, I
on
was
the
gonna
call right
say.
now. But
Oh,
yeah,
that's right. I did want to say on stream, thank you for being up right now. Like I messaged you with short notice. We had been talking a little bit, and I was like, oh, by the way, tomorrow would actually be good. Are you able to come on? It's 8 p.m. UTC, and then you told me what time it would be over there. So I just want to say thanks for being awake. What
dude,
time
of
is it
course,
right now?
man. It's around like 4:30 a.m. But you know what? It's like when I'm
Wow,
painting, like I have these nights, man. You're just like painting all night, and the fact that I
that's
get to
awesome.
like chop it up with you, and hopefully with all the people in the call, like I'm excited to just interact. I mean,
Yeah,
I
guys.
wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the community. So I'm still learning, but like I hopefully this is just my way of kind of diving in and learning as I go.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I feel like as a creator, when you give something to the community, like when you show commitment and you're there, you get it back, right? And guys in the chat, if you have questions, if questions come up, don't be afraid to just spam them in the chat. I will get to probably all of them because it's we what do we have, like 25 people in here, so it's not a crazy amount of people in here, so we can just chill, hang out, and I'll get to all of your questions.
Yeah, man, I'm down. I'm having so much fun already, and thanks again for having me, man.
So yeah, your mom was basically kind of given, at least
Yeah,
gave you the opportunity to be constantly drawing.
yeah, but here's the weird thing about like my journey as an artist. So she would put me in typical art classes, with the art teacher telling
Okay.
you that this is how you would draw, like this, like traditional stuff.
Yeah.
And it was, I think, when I was around like 8 or 9, I lost interest a bit.
Okay.
It felt a bit academic at that point, and I don't know. I think that was like the age like video games was going. I was just playing so much, and it was a I guess it was an interesting time for me because I moved away from that because I thought it was too academic.
Okay.
Then but I'd still draw all the time, but just in my own style. And
in a direction where it's very different, and it's not, you're not pursuing some sort of technical excellence, or maybe you have technical excellence, but you're almost going beyond it and creating something that is super unique.
exactly. And I guess in my case, I was there halfway. Then I decided to like just do a complete, 180 and just it was it was also a self discovery phase because with the academic stuff I got bored to a point that looking back now I'm pretty grateful for, because if I wasn't able to kind of like separate myself from that side, and just take a break and just consume like culture, everything around me. I think once I was able to come back,
Mm-hmm.
I was able to appreciate the academic more.
Mm-hmm.
Then I was able to kind of go back and expand. So yeah, I'm pretty grateful for that.
Makes sense. Yeah, let's tackle these questions that come in. Are you using any minting service, or are you doing it yourself for
Yeah,
the drop? We'll probably get into the
yeah,
drop a little bit deeper later, but yeah, we'll tackle each question as they come.
yeah. No, Vendetta's helping me out with that one specifically. So his his guidance honestly is just been such a big help, because I think as an artist, especially when it's my first project, there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of questions and anxieties that I wouldn't want any other artist to kind of have, especially when it comes
Mm-hmm.
to putting their art, especially, like it's something that a lot of us aren't really used to in terms of kind of like the exposure that one could potentially be getting. So I'm just really grateful that he's helping me with all that back and stuff, because I wouldn't be chatting here with you today, man, if it wasn't for his help. So um big shout out to him.
Yep. Yep. I do think it is important. It is kind of like a topic on its own that we could tackle for a while, if we had the time. It's like, how does an artist, and actually that hits on that question that Pankin 101 is asking, do you do any advertising, or marketing, I assume? Like, do you focus on that? Do you spend much time on that? How do you get the word out there?
Right. Well, I talked about this with I just keep on referring back to Vendetta. Apologies in advance, but he's been that Cardano guy in my circle. So, but I did ask him about that, and I've seen some of my friends who are into NFTs and I've been seeing all, I've kind of dipped my toes in that area, seeing how my friends would interact and whenever they collect. So I'm aware of all that marketing stuff, but
Mm.
it wasn't something I was completely comfortable with. It's hard to describe how, in just a few words, how I'd like for all of this to go. Obviously, it it can't go perfect, but everything's been growing organically so far, and for me that
Yeah, it feels that way.
like I'm just super grateful. And like Vendetta said that it's the way to go, man. If that's the way you want to do
Yeah.
it, then that's how you should do it. And I was scared. I was nervous because like I thought he was gonna say something I didn't want to hear and say like, yep,
Yeah.
no, I think we should try. But he's a real bro, and he was like, okay, you want to do it this way, let's do it. And
Yep.
so I'm thankful, man. I'm just very thankful. Like it's going how it's going, and
I
yeah,
think that's good advice. I do think marketing is important, but I think being authentic is the most important thing. So, you gotta find marketing tactics, if you will. You gotta find a marketing approach that is true to you. and feels right to both you as an artist and your project in general. So yeah, that's actually like I find that refreshing. Like I feel like everything that you're doing, it feels organic and authentic, and that's what attracts me to it. If I saw spam DMs from your project or invite competition or any of those kind of annoying traditional marketing tactics, it would actually like make me less likely to buy your work. So marketing can actually have a negative impact. Not all marketing is
Yeah,
good or neutral. So yeah.
right. No, it makes it, it feels good to hear you say that, man, because like, like I'm a consumer like everybody else, and when I was starting to like learn about NFTs and stuff like that, like I just started to get all these message requests on Instagram, like, yo, this project, like, dude, where's this? It's like flooding message requests, and I just learned on the go, and honestly, I didn't know if I was doing the right thing by doing that, but it it's very reassuring to hear you say that. So thanks, man.
Yeah, it's just my perspective. That's kind of my trade has been marketing for a long time. Um, all right, where were we?
Really?
Where were we? Yeah, how
Uh,
I'm still kind of trying to fill in that period of you kind of discovering this in, I guess I don't know how old you are, but in high school and then to jumping into
right.
Cardano.
Right. All right. So high school's finished, college is finished. I pursued art, and that was like there's a pivotal moment when I decided to become an artist, and it was during, um, I think when I was a freshman in college. I was like, all right, let's do this. So fast forward a bit. Um, I had my first show when I think when I was, yeah, I think I was like 19.
Okay.
It was it was a bootstrapping kind of show where I had my friends from college say like, "Yo, I'm gonna put up a show and I need your help because I didn't have any manpower." So it was like one of those things that um, like I had all sorts of different paintings. It was just really like as a first show, like I just wanted to show everything. So I had all sorts of different works. I even had this door that I painted on, and it was like a
Ah,
legit door that
that's
I
funny.
used like the heads to paint. So it was like
Okay.
uh, I wish I could like describe how everything that went because like memories are just kind of like flooding in right now. But
Sure.
it was an exciting time, and that went really well. That kind of gave me the encouragement, to keep going. And after that, I ended up working for an auction house. It was
Hmm.
like it was a very, 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 very interesting experience, especially as an artist, because you're seeing, the market, and as an artist, you're like, okay, like this is how it is. This is what it is. Um, and for anyone that's in the call, like I'm not sure if you're familiar with like kind of like the auction world, but it can get pretty crazy. I mean,
Yeah, how so?
start with um just with like how hype kind of plays a role in it, and just how egos can clash together.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
um like an auction is basically when you're selling a work, like you just need two people to kind of like
Yeah.
bid against each other, and if those two
Yeah.
people have like an unlimited amount of funds, boy, I mean,
And
it's a battle
an
of ego at that
unlimited
point.
size of an ego. Yeah, as an artist, you probably
Yeah,
want rich people with big egos. That's gonna be very profitable, probably at
yeah.
auctions.
So yeah. So like, I mean, as an artist, it was very, very interesting to see.
Hmm.
And I think I just wanted to approach it in a very neutral way, especially since I had my problems with it going in. I was able to resolve those problems like once I left, because I had that kind of that perspective, like going. like going on towards my career. Like, okay, that's how it works. That's why it's there. And okay, but yeah, then fast forward in between that, I had my second show, which was incredible. It was like actually my first sold out show. The first one I didn't get to sell it because it was my first show. Then it was only during my second show that like all this stuff started happening, and it
Okay.
was such an incredible moment, I guess, in my career that I was able to quit my job in the auction house and uh, go at this kind of like full time. So
Okay.
pretty much, I think
And
that's how
how
far
long
my
ago was
journey's
that?
been. I think just right before COVID. So
Okay.
actually, it was late 2019, but 2020 came around. Then you know, the thing is, actually, once COVID happened, I had an opportunity to have another show, but it just didn't feel right to like
Oh, yeah.
like have that show and not
Yeah.
have anyone come in. And it was so I decided to take a break in terms of like showcasing my work and just to work, stay in the lab
Okay.
for 2 years, figure stuff out. And funnily enough, like one of the first projects that I'm doing now before my third show this June is this NFT project. So I
Yeah.
think it's just pretty amazing. So yeah, man.
Yeah. We'll definitely get to your question here about after this drop, what's going to happen then. But before we get there, um yeah, what's it like to being an artist during COVID? Is it a good or a bad thing?
I mean, to be honest, in the beginning, I hit a wall since like you're so used to being your mind being stimulated like by the outside and
Yeah.
like being around other people. And I think it was like for a solid month, I was just at home, just like going through that bum out phase where like I don't know what to do. Like, and I think for most people they would assume that would be like an artist paradise, like, and it eventually became one for me. But I think like a lot of people, I was just shook by what is going on and what
Hmm.
I could do and what I couldn't do, and there's definitely an adjustment period. Um, but yeah, I think after I kind of got to settle myself, I was like, all right, like this is actually what I wanted, because like before then, like I would always like like say to myself like I don't have enough time to paint. Like why can't I just
Yeah,
stay inside the whole day?
exactly.
Then like but
I
after I
asked because
went through
I've
all of
I've I've noticed, some people creating a lot of work and a lot of good work during this period, and obviously COVID is not a good thing. But yeah, I feel like it's kind of been a silver lining in a sense that people, especially artists, have just like art is an outlet, right? Like
right.
you like when you can't go anywhere or do anything else, at least you have the art that you can just like really dig into. Um,
No, you're exactly right, man. And I see it with a lot of my friends who weren't doing anything creative at all, like before
mhm.
COVID. Then once
Yeah,
COVID hit, they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm in like not I'm growing plants now. I'm doing something like this now."
yeah,
Like they're doing all these sorts of different things, and it's just amazing to see. And I think in my case, it was just more of what do I want my practice to be like
hmm,
now that I'm in this position, right? So it is more of it was definitely like a self reflection process, and
yeah, for
I'm just
sure.
happy that it turned out well, because like
Yeah.
now we're here. So
So
yeah.
are you in NFTs now like to stay, or is this something that you're just don't want to use the word experiment for obvious reasons, those that have been here for a while. But do you see yourself making NFTs and being a part of the NFT space in particular on Cardano for the long run?
Right, right.
Like, how do you see
Well,
that?
well, I don't want to kind of brand myself just as an NFT artist because I'm an artist at heart. Like I love making paintings. I love making mixed media.
Yeah.
Sculpture is something I want to get into in the future, but I am super, super excited about making NFTs a part of my permanent practice. In the sense that what I make in terms of paintings, prints, is completely integrated with like kind of like NFTs and just that. I mean, just the technology itself. Like, I want to be able to maximize how I envision kind of like my career going forward.
Mm-hmm.
I think what I mean by that, like right now, chatting with you, making this project, it's really an opportunity for me to connect with people all over the world who wouldn't have known my art otherwise if it wasn't, for
Exactly.
this.
Yep.
And now it's kind of like, like we're all just like giving, we're like sharing with one another. And now that people understand that, like I'm an artist and this is my first project, it opens all sorts of like avenues for me to bring in the painting side in.
Mm-hmm.
um but obviously like this project for me is just like the most obvious way to get started, so
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
How do you make these pieces? Do you do them because they don't look like they're on canvas? Are they natively digital, or how do you
Right.
create them?
Yeah, all of these are hand drawn digitally.
Okay.
And it's actually a very interesting story about about my journey as an artist that I think I left out. But when I first started working for that auction house, I'd have to take the bus every day and get stuck in traffic, rush hour all the time.
Yeah.
And weirdly enough, I wouldn't have my drawing notebook with me sometimes. And you can just imagine being stuck in traffic, being squished around all these people. And like, I just want to make art. And I had this just instinctive move that I just started to draw on my phone using this, like
Oh,
back when like the iPhone was like iPhone 5, I think, or something like that. There was no like kind of like solid app that could
yeah.
capture the kind of art that we're making in the NFT space right now. But I was literally making art with my finger and my phone. So, like, looking back now, it was, and I was recently looking through all of those digital drawings. I have like hundreds and hundreds of drawings on my phone, and it's all just there in on a file. And like maybe one day I'll bring it back up just to see like from before and
The
like then and now.
progress.
But
Yeah.
it's so natural,
That's
and I
interesting.
just find that really cool now that we're here. I'm super blessed that we live in this time that it's pretty amazing.
Exactly. It is kind of like the technology and the art world is colliding a little bit here in the NFT space, like creating digital art. I'm obviously into it, and I've talked a little bit about how the NFT space gets a bad reputation. Sometimes, we're just a bunch of moon boys, spamming each other, trying to get into our Lambos and all that. But at least the people in here, they're here because not for those reasons. At least, like, I'm here talking to you because I like your art, and I'm excited that you are bringing your art into NFT form. So yeah, I just wanted to make that point. Like you are,
Dude,
and like you were saying, like you are an artist first. Like you're an artist, and you can make NFT art or other type of art.
yeah. And I get like the criticism that comes with it, because before I got to dip my toes in, like That's what people were saying. And you know, if you don't know any better, you just like, all right, I guess that's what people are saying. But the fact that we're talking right now, man, and they're like people like tuning in, and this all wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for the technology, you know, and
Exactly.
you know, like the opportunity that this technology like presents. And I think, you know, like, let me take this opportunity to give you props, man, because for you to have this stream, to be, you know, like, it's just putting yourself out there and to be engaging with the community like this, like, props, man. And like, it's really such an amazing thing, because like, you
Thank
know,
you.
as an artist, like these kinds of things are so interesting to me. Just the way how, you know, like this whole ecosystem kind of like builds itself out, and I'm just trying to get like this bird's eye view of like how things are operating. And when we zone in to like this conversation right now, it's just we're all just doing our part, and
Yeah.
this is some wholesome stuff, man. It's just pretty it's pretty neat to me.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, thanks for saying that. But yeah, I just started because I wanted to play a small part in. I mean, there were some selfish reasons. I wanted to learn more about artists, but yeah, it's
Yeah, dude.
also nice to play a small part in just kind of spreading the word and being a part of the community. Like, I feel like as a community, we're growing pretty fast, and yeah, it's just feels good to be a part of it. All right, speaking of being, you know, Moon Boys and CNFT degens, let's jump into what probably a lot of people in here are curious about, and that's the drop, because we unfortunately wasted a lot of time not hearing each other. Let's talk about the drop. It's happening Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday, 5:30 p.m. UTC, and there'll only be 2,999 jar heads available. I thought that was a good number to start with. Um,
Why not
as I said
3,000?
earlier, yeah, I think it was just like a way to kind of like, all right, you know how people, there's that, interestingly enough, this sales psychology obviously doesn't apply to this, no, to this like drop, but you know how like when sale, they
Yeah,
put like a
299.
999 instead of
Yeah,
1,000,
399.
so like, yeah, so I don't know, it was just like
That's
one
my
of those random
promotional
things,
price,
but
by the way. I'm competing with, as you know, I'm competing with BitBoy. So if you want a promotion, that's $3.99 price of a Big Mac. No, I'm just joking.
I love it, man.
Yeah, I mean, I shouldn't be surprised that you don't do clean, round things, judging by your artwork. So, all
Yeah.
right, 2,999. Saturday, 5:30 p.m. Most of you guys probably know this, but yeah, like details, like is it just one per transaction, for example?
Right. I consulted with Vendetta about this. So, what will be happening is that people can purchase 7 at most. You know, like this was like per transaction. This was like something I had no idea coming in. So it was really something more for me to consult with him and see what would work. And I think
Okay.
that was just like a good number to start with. Obviously, this is like, I'm not gonna try and see like try and appear that I know what I'm doing with the numbers, but to me it just feels right with that. Going with that, and I think it'll be 1, 3, 5, and 7. So I think just going with that so far should
Okay.
be okay. If people want more or something like that, I think I'd be happy to accommodate it. But so
I
far, yeah.
mean, yeah, that sounds reasonable to me. Are you using a vending machine system?
We are.
Again, that must be Vendetta who is helping you
Yeah,
with that.
we are.
Yeah.
But I am familiar with, like, he did mention the vending machine, and
Okay.
it's all there now. But yeah, I'm just super excited.
Okay. How these? I mean, these are obviously um, what's the word? Like, they're not all handmade. There are 2,999 of them. So how? What? Yeah. How? how are
Yeah,
these assembled? How are they created?
yeah. No, that's such a great question, and I think for me, this is such. It got me really excited once I found out that we could incorporate coding into this
Mm-hmm.
project. You know, I mean, obviously, each project has their own little coding thing to do with it, but I'm not much of a techie guy. You know, I'm like old school, as you said. Like, I don't really incorporate a lot of, like, digital styles that would make everything look clean and not. I just paint the way I paint, and I think it translates to this project. But going back to that coding part,
Yeah.
um, once I realized that we could use all of the stuff I've been, like, painting, and kind of mesh it up and let them create the like themselves, it was like, no way we can do that. Or like, I'm sorry for my ignorance in this kind of thing, because, but, like, like, I'm just, like, sharing how, Vendetta was, like, telling me how it's gonna go down. I was like, wow, that is so exciting, because
Yeah.
it kind of makes me kind of like a consumer, like myself, because, like,
Yeah. Like, you
I
can
can
be
only make
excited
my
to
art.
see. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was so exciting. Just like a couple hours ago, we were just looking, like, through everything. I'm like, wow, I would have never been able to come up with that
Yeah.
piece. Obviously, I made everything myself, but the help of technology just kind of created this entirely new beast that
Yeah.
I'm so
I
excited to
agree.
use it for, like,
I
yeah.
and it kind of makes me feel good uh hearing that from you, because a lot of traditional artists, they're against any there's this little bit of stigma when you talk about either generative art or art that uses technology in some way. But I think you know that has a place. I think using code can't just be another tool, just like a brush to create art.
Exactly,
um,
exactly.
but yeah, and I also want to say that, guys, if you guys have any opinions on this, let us know in the chat. But my personal, like, the reason why I'm excited is because I think it's gonna fit your style so well. To see these, like, it doesn't have to match perfectly. Like, I think it's gonna create a lot of interesting
Yes,
interesting things that are gonna make sense in your kind of
yes.
like style. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, man, I wish you could see it, because, like, yeah, you're exactly right. Like, with my style, like, kind of dealing with these kinds of imperfections, and, just going as I go, is a bit wild, right? But, like, it works in my favor when it comes to using code, because now it gets even more imperfect. And I'm like, wow, this
Yeah.
is this is madness. This is crazy. I love it. Like, so I'm just really excited to see. I'm just really happy also how it turned out. So yeah, man.
Okay. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I think we're both excited. um, but what? So back to the question that somebody asked here. Like, what happens? Let's say that you have a successful mint. I mean, I guess you would be in the minority if you have a drama-free successful mint, but let's hope so. Um, and what happens after that? Like, have you thought about what you're going to be doing in a couple of months?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think I was, I consulted with friends about this, artists as well, who aren't into NFTs, and for my friends who are into NFTs, I just wanted to kind of see and just kind of gauge how this whole thing can go. And
Mm-hmm.
obviously, I don't. I'm not gonna make any promises or anything like that. But I do promise I'm gonna incorporate NFTs with my practice. Like, I mean, that's whether that's kind of like, you know, selling a print and making an NF and offering an NFT alongside with it. You know,
Mhm.
like those are, I can't ignore anymore, and it's gonna be a part of my practice moving forward. But I think to your question in terms of what can happen in the near future, I'm just really fascinated with virtual reality.
Okay.
I think right now, you know, I think I'm in at the point in my practice where I like exploring. I like exploring different mediums, and in this case, I think virtual reality is a medium in itself. Um, I and just to kind of be clear on this, it kind of using virtual reality as my paintbrush. So I've been studying that a lot, and kind of seeing if putting on those goggles and going wild the way I do here in the real world will translate just as well. But that is for me is pretty
Interesting.
exciting. Um,
There's an art.
obviously, like yeah,
Are you talking like 3D? Like
yeah. So
yeah.
I'm not sure
What
if
is that
you're
called?
familiar with Adobe Medium. They have this thing with in Oculus where you put, you know, like that freehand kind of thing that's going on that people just
Yeah.
draw
Yeah. What's the name of
in
that
free space.
artist that dropped recently on I completely forget now. But there was an artist who made some incredible work that dropped recently. There was some drama they dropped on Genesis House, but I can't remember the name. So we'll
Mm,
we'll leave it. If anybody in the chat knows who
right.
I'm talking about, Wookie maybe Wookie something.
Okay.
Uh,
I should check that out.
Wookie Art Diarrhea. Yeah, Wookie Art
Huh.
Diarrhea. Yeah, I'm wondering if that's the kind of art you're talking about. Um,
Well, let me check if that's the. I think so, but definitely
I'll pull them up here.
because I think with this project in particular, people are getting their jar heads right, but jar heads are just like one out of like how many of my practice. So like just being able to explore like the body and anatomy in that sense, just the way I paint it, you know, I think that would be pretty interesting to see when it comes to doing it in virtual reality as
Yeah,
compared to digital, just purely digital, which, you know, could work, but who knows? But that's where my curiosity is leading me to.
that's
Um,
interesting. Okay.
yeah,
But hopefully you'll kind of let us follow you on that path if that's where you go. But
yeah,
I guess my main
definitely, man.
question would be is is Jar Heads a complete collection after this drop? Or, you know, are you already thinking, you know, as tends to be pretty common in the CNFT space, season 2, season 3, you know, is that something you're thinking about, or are you just thinking about this is my collection and then I move on to something else? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, yeah, it's a good question. And with all those the season 2, the season 3, and I'm not so sure how I feel about that yet.
Yeah.
Um, but what I do wanted this project, I wanted this project to be kind of like, you know, an entry point, you know, like to the community, just to let them know that, hey guys, I'm an artist. This is what I'm doing, and you know all that jazz. Then now that people kind of know what I stand for, how I like making my art, it gives me an opportunity to kind of bring in my style, like
Yeah.
my practice, the way I like it. So, you know, moving forward, it could be just how I make art.
You're just gonna
Period.
do you.
Not
You're just gonna do
yeah. It's
you,
not like
and
it's they're not
yeah,
PFPs anymore.
yeah,
They're not the thing that you see regularly. But now that people were able to see that I've entered the space with the PFPs, you know, it gives. I think it makes things easier for everyone.
yeah, it makes sense. You're bringing your art to the space in a way that people are familiar with and people kind of get right away. And like, I think that was super smart. That's what I would advise any kind of traditional artist who's looking to get into the space. Like, try to create something that people immediately understand, as no matter your style, and your style is unique. That's exactly what you did. And I think, if anything, that just makes me like want to own your PFP project even more, because I'm excited, like, when you grow as an artist and you do you. Like, I have a Jarhead PFP, like his first on Cardano. So, not financial advice, guys, but and this is not
Well,
not you're probably keeping away a lot of flippers, I can imagine, because it's, even though you are a PFP, you are an unusual PFP. You're not a crocodile, you're not, an ape, in that cute style. You're doing your style, and that's what I like. So I can imagine a lot of people buying this are just going to be holding it and enjoying it in the long run. At least that's what I'm going to do.
yeah, man, I appreciate that. And exactly that's what I want people to do, because, like, for the people that are in for the ride, I have no idea where. I'm not going to make any promises, guys, but like, like, this is just me being an artist, and it's just a way for me to share this alongside with you guys. And, as I said again, like, the fact that we're here chopping it up, it's like, it's a way for me to find this kind of thing, the 1,000 true fans of. I'm not sure if you heard of that before, but it was a term that kind of like hit me. And like, like, I'm just trying to find, people who I can chat with and engage with in a way that would allow my art to kind of let itself live outside of just me, not really promoting it, but, having to go through all of this traditional steps of having a show and just letting like 50 people, attend, and it's like
Yeah,
limited, but
absolutely.
now that this is here, like, it's really amazing, because like people from all over the world are here.
Yep.
That's
Community
for me.
building. You're building your community, and people get invested in you as an artist. And I would automatically be interested in what you do after this. When you go and do your thing, I'd be interested. Because
Nice.
you are creating a relationship, you're creating a community, and that's really valuable for artists. And it goes back to, I created a video not that long ago about basically, why I believe in the future of NFTs, and one of those points was accessibility.
Hey,
Like,
NFT family, let's talk about NFTs, what they are and their benefits. Let's go.
Okay. Yeah, so one of those points was accessibility. So artists from all over the world, there's just almost no barriers to entry. You can create your own community, with people from all over the world, and you don't have to go through a middleman. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly. And going back to my point of like having gone through the experience of working for an auction house slash gallery, just like seeing how everything was going down in the business side, and now that we're here with like, the NFTs, and like how liberating it is to kind of do this on my own, and to have, at least this some traction at this point, with people interested in the project. It's it's unheard of. Like, if you told me like, like 8 months ago. So it's pretty crazy, man. Like, and as I said, it's grateful every day that I get to be doing this and sharing it with you guys. So yeah.
Yep. I believe I speak for most of us in here that we're happy to have you here. And I'm excited for Saturday. I'm gonna have to take away some time from the family, but well worth it if I can a few of these. I
Hey
think
man, give them my regards. Like tell them
yeah.
it's gonna be hopefully like my thanks. Give them my thanks as well. So
I'll buy my wife Christy one, so she
nice.
will forgive me. We're running out of time. Is there anything else we should talk about, or anything you want to mention, or chat if there are any other questions you want to get in there? Now would be that would be a good time.
Yeah, man, I'd be open to answering some questions, and just a quick comment. I think on my part, in terms of kind of like building community, like I really want to be as sincere as I can in kind of building this out. And honestly, right now, I'm not sure if I'm doing the right things to do that. There's still a learning process for me. But thankfully, hopefully Thor, after this call and hopefully in the future, like just to be able to consult with people from the community about what they'd like to see more of from me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm super open to that, and just kind of hearing how I can build this out, because as much as I enjoy my creative freedom as an artist, I love engaging and listening to how I can incorporate this community aspect of NFTs and Discord and everything. It's just so it's pretty freaking awesome, like how everything is going down. So I'm still learning, but to everyone here, man, like I'm open to seeing how I can build this out and make this experience and the projects hopefully in the future as convenient and as smooth as possible, and just kind of as engaging with you as possible. So yeah,
that's always nice to hear as a community member. Like you feel like you're part of it. Like you can have a conversation with the artists. Like in the real world, that is not as common. Even if you go to a gallery, first of all, you got to be an extrovert to just walk up to a person and start a conversation. It's much easier to have that community in Discord where you can just have a casual conversation and share ideas. And I think the NFT space has a lot of benefits. Not that the traditional space doesn't have its place either, but yeah.
exactly.
All right, man.
Exactly.
This has been great, especially after that horrific start. I'm glad we were able to have a conversation, and I'm super glad to have met you, and I'm excited
Likewise.
about Saturday.
Yeah, man, me too. And thank you so much for having me. I appreciate being able to talk about this with you, and hopefully I can continue to learn from everyone here, especially from you, Thor. And moving forward, there's just so much I'd like to have answered, but honestly, we're gonna take things one step at a time. But thank you again to everyone. Everyone's been super. It's really different from the traditional art world that I'm accustomed to, and kind of showcasing my paintings, because everyone's everyone's having their chest held high a bit, when it comes to art. Art's subjective, but at the same time, when you're in the real world, people's, I guess, opinions of themselves can affect the way they kind of interact with other people. And I'm not gonna get into it, but there's just a lot of authenticity that I'm seeing in this space, and I love it, man. And I just hope to be able to do the same moving forward. So yeah,
couldn't agree more. Well said. I think that's a great way to end it, man. Again, thanks for being on here in the middle of the night. Maybe go get some sleep. Maybe we'll have another chat down the road. This was fun.
I'm looking forward to it, man.
Same here. All right. Good luck on Saturday. Talk to you later.
Thanks, man. Thanks, guys.